Okay, from this pamphlet, I picked up three words: wireless, low cost, and my favorite, mashed potato. So here we're here with Mr.
Steve Song
Steve Song.
from the Village Telco, and the idea behind the Village Telco is a low-cost telephone company that anyone can build, and the heart of that is these devices which we call mesh potatoes. And what they are is a low-cost wireless mesh device. And what that means is it's wireless, it's Wi-Fi, so it's in the unlicensed band. You don't need a license from the regulator in most countries to use it. And it's a mesh, which means that each device is a repeater for the next one. So the more devices you add to the network, the larger your network becomes. But and there are lots of devices on the market like that. What's different about ours is that we've put an analog telephony adapter into the motherboard of this device, so you can plug a plain old telephone, an ordinary telephone, into these devices and start making calls. In fact, these devices, the mesh potatoes, they don't need a server. You can just plug a bunch of them in and start making phone calls between them. So they create instant autonomous telephone infrastructure. But obviously, if you're an entrepreneur, you actually want to make a business out of it. So and that's where the server portion of the Village Telco comes in, which allows you to gateway calls from that network onto the public switch telephone network, to the mobile operators, that kind of thing.
One question: where are you from?
I'm from South Africa and from Canada.
South Africa and Canada. What is the cost be? Is there a huge cost to all of this? And what is the end cost if it turns into the entrepreneurial bit?
Okay, the principal cost is actually these devices themselves, the mashed potatoes. And right now they sell for about 9,000 shillings a piece. Wholesale about 25% less than that. And we actually hope to get that price substantially down once we go into producing larger numbers. And that's the main cost. I mean, the server, you can use a netbook as the server. That's not really a problem. And that infrastructure belongs to you once you've set it up. So you can offer free local calls, and there's no cost except for the maintenance of the actual devices. Now, if you're gatewaying to the public switch telephone network or to long-distance voice over internet service providers or the mobile operators, obviously there are charges involved in that, and that's where an entrepreneur can make money by actually making a small margin on gatewaying calls out there. The other thing to know about this is that it's an internet device, so the voice is all voice over internet, which means that you're also an internet service provider by providing access through these devices. Yeah. So it does both, but we've tried to focus on voice because we think that in rural areas, if you're not delivering cheap voice first and you deliver internet, it's not a natural progression of access.
Mr. Steve, one last question. You came all the way from South Africa. You have some root in Canada. Why the Maker Faire in Kenya 2019?
Well, partly because these devices represent for us maker culture. We've actually built and created our own supply chain for our own device that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world at the moment to service a particular need here in Africa as opposed to the North American or European market. And the reason I'm here really is to hopefully interest entrepreneurs and other makers who want to build on these devices and build interesting businesses out of them.
Cheers. With my 7,000 or 6,750, I can majorly start on this on a whole scale. Okay, thank you.
Cheers. All right.